the classic musical intro. But of course, this is your boy Bernie here, giving you the latest NBA news and rumors and also basketball opinions. Hopefully, the mic sounds fine. Right now, I have a new mic stand, and I'm gonna debate whether or not I want to continue using the one that I have. I do like it, but at the end of the day, it just didn't work out. But guys, welcome in once again. It is your boy Bernie here, giving you the latest NBA news and rumors and also basketball opinion. Of course, I probably should have waited a little bit and had actually played some music in the background, but you know how it is. We will be listening to the game live. Probably won't have this music in the background, but you know, we will be live. We will be we'll be talking about this game. So let me just put in my headphones and get ready to watch a tremendous game of basketball. You know, you have the Don Luka Doncic, and you have the King LeBron James going at each other. First time on Christmas Day. So, you know, LeBron James has been pretty much for his whole career has been a staple of basketball on Christmas. And I don't know what his record is on Christmas, but I know that, you know, it's pretty good. I would say that he's looking to continuing to get better, looking to continuing to get improved, especially after the season opener where I felt like LeBron was a little lackluster in that game. I felt like the whole Lakers roster was lackluster. But nevertheless, guys, this is, of course, your boy Bernie again, giving you the latest NBA news and rumors and now watch along here on The Charge. Of course, guys, we talk about basketball 24/7, Monday through Friday, or maybe not 24/7, but definitely Monday through Friday. Time subject to change. Of course, next week might be a little bit different in terms of time. One more week until I go back to work, but you know, I still enjoy kind of watching the games and kind of doing this with you. So this stuff will continue to happen. But like I said, time is definitely subject to change. But you know, let me connect my headphones to this and we will kind of watch the game together. You know, if you guys are in the chat, if you guys are in the comment section, what do you guys think is going to be the score of the game tonight? You know, I know Christmas is definitely a time where I feel like a lot of people are not going to be on. So depending on like the numbers, if I'm still gonna have like less than 5 people, then I probably will turn the stream off by halftime or something like that. But hopefully we can get at least 5 people to come watch this stream with us. You know, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, I think we're connected now. Properties, yep. All right, we are chilling. We are chilling. We are chilling.
Secretly, the hustler.
But we will definitely put that on mute because we don't want to watch commercials. But kind of talking about today's games, guys. Like I said today, you know, Kevin Durant went supernova. Kyrie and KD kind of went off tonight. I believe the only person that was off that went off for the Celtics was, of course, Jaylen Brown. He's been kind of going on a tear lately, so you know, I'm excited about that. But at the end of the day, what is frustrating to me is that, you know, we got Jayson Tatum again going 9 for 22, struggling, got only 20 points, a minus 21. You know, obviously the whole Celtics starting 5 got there was only one person that got a minus 14. It's just kind of ridiculous at this point. You know, Naismith only getting about 9 minutes. Meanwhile, you have freaking Peyton Pritchard basically being a substitute off the bench. So that's a little bit worrying for me that our high draft pick is not getting played as much as our second first round pick, which I think is concerning to me because what it shows me is that is not a guy that we should have. I don't know why ESPN keeps doing this. But nevertheless, guys, this is going to be, kind of an interesting show tonight. You know, like I said, we got the Lakers, we got the Mavericks, and, you know, I want to mute this because, you know, John Legend will definitely, he'll definitely shut us down as it pertains to the stream. So I just want to make sure that stuff's not playing in the background, especially with ESPN. You just can't be playing with the Mickey Mouse. Basically can't be playing with the mouse at this point. So, you know, this is a very interesting scenario. Like I said, the Lakers versus the Mavericks, you know, Luka Doncic trying to take the mantle from LeBron James. LeBron James not going to relinquish it anytime soon. We got Anthony Davis playing in the Grinches tonight. Again, very salty that the Grinches did not come for me. But it looks like Trez is wearing some crazy shoes. It looks like it has some fur on it. I don't know if it's like the Abominable Snowman. But that's kind of interesting. I'd say that's kind of interesting. Some interesting shoes. You know, they got the white, basically iced out Lakers jersey tonight, the City Edition one that they're wearing today. But yeah, just kind of going back to my Celtics before we kind of talk about this. And then, you know, depending on the situation at hand, if we have enough people, then I will definitely keep talking about different basketball. But the frustrating thing about me tonight was that Jayson Tatum again shot terribly. Meanwhile, we did not get any contribution off the bench compared to the compared to the Nets, who got 37-29 from Kevin Durant, but Joe Harris gave them 9 points. Defensively was a very good player. We got Karis LeVert giving you 10 points, did his job, and many other players too. Taurean Prince probably needs to get a little bit more minutes on there. I mean, I know he's 1 for 5 with the -7, but defensively he is a stud. But let's put on the game now as we are watching
game, guys.
the Lakers.
Yeah, hopefully the Mavericks will be able to, without one of their star players, give a good showing here. Doncic gets inside, kicks it out. Wide open is Finney Smith.
Finney Smith, great three.
The first shot of the game.
Just when he gets deep in the paint, his size allows him to see over the defense, pinpoint pass. And his matchup tonight, LeBron James.
Step up tonight.
James drives and gets to the rim easily.
Already starting off with a strong start. This is the aggressive LeBron that I feel like we needed from the first game. Obviously, me having him on fantasy has nothing to do with it, but it is kind of frustrating, I would say.
The Mavericks losing in Phoenix to the Suns. Tim Hardaway Jr. floats up and knocks down his first shot.
And we're gonna find out, today, like what the Lakers are made of, especially their bench. We know Marc Gasol getting another start tonight. His first start for a Laker definitely did not go off on the right foot. But I need LeBron and Anthony Davis to be aggressive because both those guys definitely were not aggressive enough. I felt like for the Lakers to really win the game. I thought that they were kind of, I thought they should have taken a lot more shots than they did. So we'll see what happens. I think this is going to be a great game to watch. And I don't know what is up with my stream. It is kind of lagging right now. Xfinity not coming in clutch as it pertains to the stream.
He's going to be one of their best defenders. There's Josh Richardson hounded by Davis. Shot clock at 5. Richardson nice and patient and gets to the rim.
Davis being cooked. Definitely not what you want to see from a defensive player.
Lakers had a very slow start on Tuesday night in their.
There we go, Dennis Schroeder.
Able to hit the jumper. They actually trailed by 22 in the first quarter to the Clippers. Came back at it tight there by halftime. The Clippers with a big second half.
Ooh, Luka Doncic going for the rondo.
Deflected out.
But definitely not a good pass.
And Coach, I know we rave about the guys that are missing off the championship team, and we can forget about the.
Not sure what it is, but I feel like the European, I feel like conditioning and fitness is definitely not the European.
Taking guys on the perimeter.
I mean, I understand like you're getting
guys on the perimeter.
Goodness.
Absolutely, and Schroeder is
I don't know. My screen keeps going green for Xfinity, so I don't know if you guys are having the same problem. If you guys are watching with me, not expecting too many people here tonight. Obviously, I know it's Christmas, so I just want to, if you are watching with me, whether you're watching me live or whether you're watching me on the live stream, I'll turn this down a little bit. Just want to say thank you once again for joining me here on The Charge. Thank you for this amazing journey so far. It started 3 years ago when me and my boy Pete created this channel. So far, I have a lot of guests on, and it's a fun thing to see, and I really appreciate everybody that's hit that subscribe button. Subscribing to this channel means that the channel can grow. It means that more people are going to be watching. It means that a lot more people will create a community here on The Charge, and that's kind of what I want to do for you guys, is create a community where we all can get along. Maybe not get along because we all have our different opinions, but at least get together, discuss, have some banter, have some arguments, and then watch some great basketball. Depending on what team you cheer on, it is what it is. But like I said, kind of want to wish everybody that celebrates Christmas a Merry Christmas, and hopefully you guys are enjoying your Christmas day with your family, friends, or if you're alone, hopefully this video will help you out because you're never alone, man. So if you need anything, watching some great basketball, come join, sit down, relax, get back, and let's watch some great superstars go at it. Let me refresh this. This is ridiculous. I don't know why my stream's lagging right now. Oops. Hopefully it's better.
The Lakers with their first lead.
Not sure who scored on that one, but right now it's 8-7.
Schroeder is guarding Doncic right now. The strength of Doncic is one of his strengths. Misses that. Gasol the rebound. Lakers look to push. James gets inside again. Caldwell Pope three-pointer, and that's good.
Caldwell Pope hitting his three-point shot. That's good.
And they've got a 4-point lead.
They're just absolutely devastating in the open court. James full head of steam coming at the defense. They have to bring 2 to the ball. And that leaves
Schroeder,
shooters like Pope
Luka matchup here.
Doncic draws the foul, takes a tumble, scratching his left knee there a little bit. And he's going to go to the free throw line.
Let's see here.
Well, their defense sets him up. James pushes.
Caldwell Pope getting that three, man.
That's
a good shot.
Open for the three, and then again a number advantage. James attacking, throws the lob to Davis.
I think I have the Lakers here. I think I said I had them like winning this game easily, just because I think the Lakers are trying to kind of say like, hey, you know what? I know a lot of people didn't really believe in us, but we actually are a good team. Or maybe not like a good team, but like we have the chemistry down already. So, you know, we'll see if LeBron James can kind of lead the charge again. You know, Luka Doncic, a young, hungry superstar for the Dallas Mavericks, definitely going to help in that situation. But the one thing that's kind of concerning about Luka Doncic is I feel like he's a little bit overweight. He's a little chunky right now. He looks like he's got a little bit of that quarantine 15. So I kind of want to see like is his conditioning like up to standard, because in the game against the Suns I felt like he wasn't really as good, even though he got 32 points. I felt like he could have had a lot. I felt like he could have played a little bit better in instances, but you know, we'll see if he can continue. You know, he's probably going to lose the weight as he continues to play, but we'll see what happens as Luka continues to, like I say, grow and develop.
But it was defense that let them down quite a bit, and that was especially in close games. They lost more games, 5 points or less, 19 of them than any team in the league.
Smith was not ready for that pass.
Lines that one up, and Powell hits the
Powell.
They're loving having Dwight Powell back.
Or sorry, Dwight, not Warner. Dwight Powell.
And surgery back in January. He's a remarkable recovery. Caldwell Pope using the left hand and gets the roll.
Caldwell Pope.
Getting back to Luka, one thing Rick Carlisle talked about, he's come back as an improved leader. He's really taking pride in working on that.
A little pick and roll action here.
Just as important as everything else. When you're the best player,
ooh, what was he thinking? He probably should have just taken that shot. You know, and as we kind of watch this, as Anthony Davis gets an and one foul there, you know, kind of like looking at the Celtics right now, just to talk about it here and there. You know, Jeff Teague played probably one of his worst games, got 0 points, only 21 minutes. Like, that's absolutely terrible. We need Jeff Teague to score for us. You know, Tristan Thompson, you know, I thought he played better than he did his first game. Marcus Smart still hasn't found that rhythm yet, so that's a little disappointing. Daniel Theis, again, you know, 23 minutes with only 2 points. Like, it's just unacceptable for right now for our centers who are not really getting us the points that we need. Like, both Thompson and Theis combined for 10 points. Like, that is unacceptable as a Celtic. So we need to start thinking about trading some players to get a center, man. Like, I know that might be overreaction, but, like, I was even doubtful for the first game. Like, we barely won that game, and we won it on a Hail Mary 3-point shot. It wasn't like we won it tremendously, so that's where I'm just like, you know, we need to start thinking about, like, you know, where are we going to get our offense? Where are we going to get, like, if things are tough, like, are we going to get a big bucket from our center? But so far, it's not been the case. Excuse me, as LeBron James gets the rebound here, gets it to Schroeder. Schroeder on the pick and roll. And Anthony Davis finishes once again. And it is right now a 6-point game, 18-12, with about 7 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And you got Rick Carlisle calling a timeout. So we're gonna kind of pause the game there and kind of wait for it. So Tyrese, hey, Tyrese, how you doing, man? Hopefully you have a great Christmas, man. We need depth. Pritchard, Grant, Williams ain't cutting it. You know what? I actually don't mind Pritchard. I think he's, like I said before the draft, I think that he was one of the guys that I would have targeted with that second pick. But what is concerning to me, Tyrese, is the Naismith pick, man. Like, the fact that he's only getting 9 minutes, 1 for 2, you know, with the turnover, like, you know, you expect a little bit more from a guy that's like the 13th overall pick, right? You know, the 13th overall pick is someone that's supposed to make a contribution to your team. And, you know, maybe Naismith is, you know, taking more time to adjust than I feel like any other rookie, but like Peyton Pritchard's making an impact, I feel like, in my mind of like what he's doing out there. Like, yeah, he's not like I said, he's not going to be like the best guard out there. Like, I'm not saying that he's like the depth that we need, but what is concerning to me, Tyrese, more than ever is the center position, man. Like, the center position for the Celtics to me is the biggest issue, because like without a dominant center like a Vucevic or like a Sabonis, even, like I would love Sabonis on the team. I think he'd be too much though to get him, but I think a Sabonis would actually help us out tremendously as someone who could be in the low block and scoring. I do agree with you that we do need vets in this league. Jeff Teague, I think, was a great pickup, but tonight he was really bad. I just don't think that Carson Edwards should get, you have a lot of guys. Basically, he played the whole bench tonight. Like, I don't know, man. It's like you got Edwards, you got Waters, you got Green, and then Jayson Tatum's shooting, man, is just absolutely god awful. Like 9 for 22, 2 for 6 from 3, 8 rebounds. Like, it's concerning to me that Jayson Tatum, even though he is a power forward, is getting the same amount of rebounds as like a guy like Tristan Thompson. Absolutely not going to cut it. So, we'll see what happens, man. Like, it is concerning to me, though. Grant Williams, 2 for 4, not cutting it. Semi, 2 for 7, not cutting it. I thought that, grooming Semi Ojeleye and Grant Williams, Grant Williams, I think, deserves a little bit more minutes than Semi, which obviously is showed tonight. But the bench rotation is definitely something we need to figure out. Like, when Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown are out of the game, like, who's going to fill in for them? You know what I mean? Like, and I do agree with your first point, Tyrese. It's like, without those guys on the team or without them in the game, where are we getting our playmaking from? Like, where are we getting our scoring from? Because, Jeff Teague is supposed to be that answer, but tonight it just kind of showed again that he didn't have it tonight. And when he doesn't have it, guys like Pritchard, guys like Edwards, Grant Williams and Semi Ojeleye, they definitely don't have the capability of doing that to create offense for one another. And that to me is frustrating as a Celtics fan, that we still haven't found that rotation yet. Like, I understand we kind of kept the game kind of close, but that third quarter really killed us because we only scored 23 points but gave up 35. And even worse in the fourth quarter where we had 18 and they had 37. So, it's not like anybody on the Nets bench really killed us. I mean, obviously you had little things here and there. I got Jared Allen with 9 points. You got Caris LeVert with 10. Shamet with 5. Green with 2. Taurean Prince, I believe, with 5 points. So you get little points here and there. But mostly it was just Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving tonight. Kyrie Irving was 7 for 10 for 3-point shots, so he definitely has his 3 going now. So it's going to be one of those things where we're going to see how it pertains. As we kind of continue to watch this Lakers game. Yeah, I do agree with you, Tyrese. It's like Jayson Tatum does have a lot of pressure to make, but I feel like there's some times where I felt like there's a better read, and he's not reading it right. I felt like he's not seeing the whole floor, where I felt like, I think that if he just had a little bit more patience and not force the issue every single time, he actually could get some of his teammates open. And I think I'll go back to opening night, where instead of, that pull-up 3 where he made it, he had a guy, cut into the lane, which was wide open. I thought that would have been the better shot. But Jayson Tatum definitely is, like he said, he's growing into it. But at the same time, at what point do you say, he's growing into it, and what point is it okay, now it's time to start, it's time to start, I'm trying to think of the right word, get it going, right? When's the right time to force your shot? When's the right time to pass to your teammates? And I feel like right now, Tatum still is adjusting to that. Because you hear, oof, Marc Gasol just getting bullied out there. It's 21-17 right now. Yeah, I mean, I know Jayson Tatum's 22, but if you think about it, Tyrese, 22 is a senior in college, maybe, already in the league. So by 22, I expect you, I'm not expecting you to be the franchise carrier on your back. I'm not expecting you to be like that. But we see Luka Doncic, who's 21 or 22, doing the same thing. There's another timeout here for the game, even though it's 4 minutes. I know I need to drink some coffee, man. It's been a tiring day. I'm gonna tell you this. Working out too much. Got a workout in. I'm just tired as hell right now. And I even took pre-workout, so I'm a little disappointed in that. Sean, are you available for a little conference, or you still just gonna be in the chat? But I know me and Sean kind of talked about this, in a private text with each other. The thing with the Celtics, and he sees them as an NBA Finals contender. The worrying part about it is that the bench is definitely not deep. It's definitely filled with guys that can make plays occasionally, but they're not going to make the continuous plays. Meanwhile, on the Nets, for example, you have a lot of guys out here that can make some big plays. Whether it's Jared Allen, whether it's Caris LeVert, Landry Shamet, Jeff Green, who have all, or especially Jeff Green, who has been in the NBA Finals before, has been in clutch situations, has been in those moments. Like, that is a guy I think that they should be looking at. It's kind of getting one of those type of guys. It's either that or we get another superstar, which I don't know if that's going to be it. So I have YouTube Video Max and my laptop Video Max, but it should still sound quiet. Oh, whoops. Hang on. I'm not in the Discord yet, Sean. Hang on one second. Let me see if I can get you in here. Let me see here. Wait, Sean, are you in the Discord? I don't necessarily see you in here. I'm streaming. Sean, yeah, I don't see you in here unless I'm, do you want me to call? Oh. So I have my YouTube volume is max, my laptop volume max, but still sound quiet. Oh, I still sound quiet? Oh, hang on one second. Let me test this out. Give me 1 second. So I have my YouTube volume is max, my laptop volume max, but still sound quiet. Oh, I still sound quiet? On my phone, like when I listen to it on my phone, it sounds fine, and kind of like looking at my mic, it looks like it's fine. So I don't know if it's on your end, Sean, but my microphone volume is fine. Like I just checked it out with my phone. Oh, you can't hear me? Really? Huh. Hang on 1 second. Mute. Okay, we're good now? Okay. Yeah, for some reason, I just muted it for a second. Just had to talk to somebody. Okay. Okay, cool. You can hear me now. Sorry for everyone for this technical difficulties. I don't know, maybe I'm just in a you might be in a loud place. I don't know if you're at the I don't know if you're at the Rents right now, bumming off their Wi-Fi. I have to turn you down rather than turn you up. Yeah, I mean, I'm at full volume right now. I'm seeing it right now on both my like looking at my soundboard. Like I have to have your stuff maxed to sound good. I think it's good now. I mean, let me see here.
Just so noticeable walking over to the arena today. Normally, it's just, streaming with people, with Laker fans, and even people who don't have tickets. They have LA Live here, which is such a fun place. But it was like a ghost town before.
Okay, I just want to make sure. It sounds like it's good. Sorry for everyone for the technical difficulties. But I think everything's good now. So maybe I'll just talk a little bit louder for people. So yeah, I mean, just kind of going to the Celtics talk as we're continuing to watch this Lakers game. It's 23-21 right now. LA Lakers only up by 2. And now the game is tied off. Ooh, Davis took a shot to the face. Merry Christmas, followers. Yep, Merry Christmas to our followers out here on the charge. It looks like Anthony Davis took it to the nose. I don't know if he's bleeding.
The football, you would get a completion, though.
Okay, and it got there.
Oh, he got hit in the face with the elbow on the way down.
It's the season of giving. You're Scrooge.
Well, I got hit in the face with the hand. Okay, not necessarily too bad. I thought it was a lot worse, but he's definitely bleeding. So, definitely gonna have to take care of that. But going back to the Celtics talk a little bit for everybody here in the charge. The frustrating thing about it as a Celtics fan, I think we talked about it, Tyrese, ad nauseum right now, was that I do think that we need a superstar. Whether it's I still think that we still do not trade for James Harden. That's definitely a move I would not make, because we know that James Harden is, I think that it's not necessarily the right move. Like, we trade away like our bench right now. Like, who wants any of that stuff on our bench? Like, there's not a lot of players on our bench right now that would be like, this is what's going to help us get James Harden. Like, you're going to have to obviously trade away Jaylen Brown and of course some draft picks in order for that to happen. So I think when I look at everything and when I see everything, the bench to me is probably our weakest point, and I do think we need to make some moves, whether it's a sign off of free agency because someone gets a buyout, but we definitely need to make a lot of moves in this free agency class because, like I said, it's going to be one of those situations where we need to definitely make sure that there are players, that are things that we need to get for this team, right? Naismith, the fact that he's the 13th pick and only getting 9 minutes, I think you should not have played him, and I think the intrigue and the value would have been there for anybody that was like, Naismith shot 51%, even though he played like a couple games, but let's see if we can sign him. So that to me is a big debate. Is Luka off to a better career start than LeBron? I think so, because he's already made the playoffs earlier than LeBron has in his career. I think right now Luka Doncic is at a point where I think that, I think LeBron kind of learned this towards the end of his career. It's just the fact that, LeBron couldn't shoot the ball nearly as well, and the game was a lot different back in 2007. And I think that I think that Luka Doncic at this moment right now, I think his 3-point shot is better. Passing, it's still kind of, I would say, on LeBron. But what I do enjoy about Luka Doncic's game is that like he's definitely going to get guys involved. Like that pass that he just threw here with like 3:07 in the first quarter, I didn't really necessarily like that. I know he's trying to make that like LeBron pass. But I think there's a time and place for that. I don't think he did it. Tyreke said he needs to go. Edwards needs to go. Draymond Water. I mean, I do think that a lot of these players need to go. Like Edwards, I think is not necessarily ready for prime time. I don't think that he is like an NBA caliber backup. I know he played 3 minutes. But Naismith, like I don't agree with 9 minutes playing him. If you're not going to use Naismith as the 3-point shooter like a Duncan Robinson or one of these other guys where you're just like trying to get him some spot up shots, only taking 2 shots to me is a bit of a concern. And the one thing that I want to see here for the Celtics is just making an effort and making sure that we don't deal with this type of situation again. Like I'm tired of the situation where we have to where our 3-point shot isn't very reliable, right? We shot 29% compared to the 51. And obviously that's a big aberration because, Kyrie Irving shot 7 for 10, but he can do that on any given night. And Kevin Durant can also do the same thing. I mean, Kevin Durant was 3 for 4. If he wanted to, he probably could have taken more shots. Kyrie Irving is going to be the shot taker for them. But if we want to compete with the Nets now, because the Nets are above us at this point, I don't think that there's any ifs, ands, or buts. I think they are slowly becoming either the first or second best team in the Eastern Conference. They drafted Naismith because he was smart and well-spoken. That's all Danny cares about. I think Danny needs to go. Like I've said this numerous amount of times, especially with the way that we didn't get anything for Gordon Hayward besides a trade exception. If we can use that trade exception to get a superstar, I would be A-okay with it. But right now, Danny has not delivered on his promise of getting us that superstar, getting us the star player that we need. And that to me is the frustrating thing as a Celtics fan. Like I want to get a player. I want to win a championship because obviously the Lakers are right on our tails. They're tied with us right now. And we need to do a better job in that aspect. Right now it's 27-25, and I believe Marcus Morris hit the 3, so it's 30-25 if you guys are wondering, with 156 left in the first quarter. Dallas Mavericks and, of course, the LA Lakers in this Christmas highlight matchup. But like I said, going back to the Celtics again, Jayson Tatum not taking great shots, I don't think. I think there was a lot of tough buckets that he got. 9 for 22, definitely not going to cut it. Jaylen Brown going to have to be the second superstar now. He was 11 for 25, a lot better than I feel Jayson Tatum was, except that Jaylen Brown went 0 for 4 as it pertains to his 3-point shot. Still got 27 points, so it's not like it's a huge, I think that Jaylen Brown needs to start converting those, especially those corner threes. He needs to become a corner specialist. But as it pertains to watching the NBA right now and kind of what we're seeing here, I just hate the fact that we are not competing. It's a frustrating thing. Like I think that we need to trade for a superstar. Like Sabonis, I would love Sabonis. I think Sabonis is now my number one. Vucevic number 2, Karl-Anthony Towns number 3, because I think realistically we can get Sabonis, and I think realistically we can get Vucevic. Can we realistically get the other guys? I think it'd be a little bit tough it would be a tough pill to swallow to get those guys on the Celtics. I think it would be too much to trade for, and you'd have to give up basically your whole roster for one of those guys. But I think Sabonis, if it comes down to Brown or Tatum, I think you take Tatum. You might keep Tatum and keep Brown, okay? Or trade Tatum and keep Brown. See, the thing with Jaylen Brown is I believe that he is a very good second piece. Like, he's not going to be a number one. Where I feel like Jayson Tatum has the potential to be a number one. Still very young. I believe he's 22 years old. But I do think that I would keep Jayson Tatum. I know he's not necessarily my favorite player because the way he plays is like today's game it doesn't suit it. Right? It's all about the passing wings and, attacking and scoring 3-point shots. Like, that is today's NBA game. And being long and lanky on defense, which I know Jayson Tatum has the ability to. But, looking at his plus minus, it looks like defense is not necessarily a concern for him. But he needs to start taking more ownership on defense because, as a 6'10" power forward, he needs to start stepping up. And, I think rebounding, we beat the rebounding battle because we do team rebounding because obviously 3-point shots means that the guards will more likely get the rebound than the bigs used to back in the day. But what I find very interesting is that, like, we're still starting Theis, who only got us 2 points. We started a lineup that was from basically the 1980s. 2 bigs who can't stretch the floor. Like, Theis is very, very, very inconsistent with his 3-point shot. And you feel like Jaylen Brown's more consistent. I mean, I feel like in these first 2 games he is, but I want to see that throughout the whole season because we've seen this type of performance from Jaylen Brown before. Shows up in certain times, but at other times can be very quiet as well. Like, I don't think he's consistent as I think you'd like to think he is. Jayson Tatum is not consistent either. I'm not gonna sugarcoat Jayson Tatum's performance either. Tatum does need another superstar, and that's why I think they should trade for Sabonis. I think Sabonis would definitely help stretch the floor. It would help Jayson Tatum, relax a little bit, not be so much pressured. But I think that's where we need to go. But I do agree with you on that last point that you made, Tyrese. Tatum's shot selection is atrocious. I hate it so much with a burning passion. I know that Kobe Bryant trained him. I know that Kobe is his protege, RIP to the Black Mamba. But what I find frustrating is the shot selection. I mean, that bank shot winner for the Celtics against the Bucks, that was lucky to go in. I'm sorry. Like, that shot should have never went in. That shot should have definitely been an air ball or, hard off the glass because Jayson Tatum, I can't believe that Jayson Tatum said that Brad Stevens drew that up for him. Like, in what play in that scenario is that something that Brad Stevens drew up? That to me looked like, all right, Jayson Tatum, you're going to get the ball and you're just going to go one-on-one and have some fun. Like, that to me is what Coach Brad Stevens did. And you know what? It's the opening game. I get it. I understand it. But I don't necessarily think that that's the one, man. And Tatum picked up more weight because the Celtics thought he was going to play power forward. I think he's too small to play power forward. And he's like that tweener. He's a little bit of a better tweener than Aaron Gordon and Jonathan Isaac. And what I think is interesting is I think Jayson Tatum is more of a small forward. I think like in today's game, he's a small forward. It's good that they're starting big at least. I don't think that they should start Thompson and Theis. I think you start one of them and you put another type of stretch guard. Like, I think you start Thompson and you put Theis on the bench. I think Theis is a great role-playing center. I don't think he's a starter. And you're right, nothing is too small for the Celtics. They are a very small team, and we kind of got punished today by both Kevin Durant and Giannis last game, and then Kevin Durant tonight. With a couple guys, DeAndre Jordan and I believe Jared Allen getting them combined like 13 points. But I think that you need to bring on another type of, maybe not a guard, but definitely another forward. And I think I want to say you bring on Grant, but Grant's like, he's still a young player. He's still growing and developing. I think he could be a vital part for our team in the near future. But as of right now, I think that it's still too soon and too early for him to be in that situation. But, at the end of the day, what is probably going to be more frustrating than anything else to me is the fact that, Jeff Teague did not do well tonight. Like, I don't know if this is going to be the norm for Teague. But, we'll see what happens. And Tyrese, I get your point about 2017 with Baines and Horford, but those two guys could stretch the floor. And Horford was basically a point forward, basically another ball handler, a guy that can get, that can play make out here. Like, besides, I would say, I don't even know, like, besides basically Tatum, and even then it's not that, maybe it's Marcus Smart only. Like, besides Marcus Smart, no one out there to me is a playmaker. And that to me is concerning because, like, without any playmakers on the court, it is really going to be tough for us to make big plays. I mean, we got 4 assists from Grant Williams, kind of I would say like a mini Draymond Green, something that we thought Yabusele would be back in the day, and he just didn't pan out, the French Draymond. So I think that's what Grant Williams' role is that like Draymond Green-esque type of role. But what I think is concerning to me, is like I said, like Peyton Pritchard, a great backup point guard, or like a decent backup point guard. I'm saying Thompson and Theis is better than Horford and Baines do because it's better than starting Grant Williams. Yeah, I mean, I get that, but the thing with Tristan Thompson is that, like, I'm not getting much offense out of him, like, where I feel like Grant Williams can at least stretch the floor. I'm not saying that Grant Williams should start. I don't think that at all. I think Grant Williams is better as a bench player. DeAndre Jordan was barbecue chicken for Grant Williams and Tristan. Yeah, I mean, the thing with Grant Williams, I feel like he can stretch the floor. He's willing to take those shots, but I think at the end of the day, what it comes down to is we need another superstar. And, who do you trade to get that superstar? That's the biggest question, because I think that, as James Harden continues to grow his list as to who wants to join, the question for me is, like, do you think Danny Ainge would pull the trigger to get James Harden? I know this is a watch along, so I apologize for everybody that's watching along. It is 33-30, the LA Lakers, Dallas. Or sorry, 33-30, Lakers are up, and LeBron James shoots a 3, misses, and there's 10:48 left on the clock. Hardaway Jr. definitely making a tremendous impact in the game. So I think the final thoughts, Tyrese, says we we could probably talk about the Celtics all day on this channel. We need to start making some moves because this bench right now is absolutely god-awful. It's atrocious. And Naismith, our first-round pick, it's got to go. And I do think that they would trade Kemba and Smart. They need to trade one of them. I think Kemba Walker, I think I would love for him to go just because I think, like, as much as I love him, as much as I think he did so many things for Charlotte, the problem with Kemba is the defensive liability is going to be a huge factor for us. We saw it happen in the playoffs last year. Like, we basically got bullied in that playoff game. And so I don't want that to happen this year. So, I'm fine trading him. I'm fine, making some moves and getting someone else in because I think that's kind of the direction that we need to go in. But Jaylen Brown off limits. Yeah, I think Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum are off limits. Those guys are like untouchable at this point. But you know what? If you want to give up Smart, if you want to give up Kemba Walker, I would be, as much as it would suck to give up Marcus Smart, because I do love his hustle and tenacity. I think that he could be a whatchamacallit. I think he could be an asset to our team. You do at some, if he's worth some trade value, you got to trade him away and get a star player, get a proven player. So that's where I'm kind of leaning towards. Kyrie can hide in Brooklyn because of their depth. Yeah, I mean, they can hide. I mean, Kyrie Irving can basically offensively just be a juggernaut. I think, what was his plus minus today? I mean, it was a plus 31, so was Kevin Durant. I think with Kevin Durant and what I see here, with Kyrie Irving is that, like, yeah, he can take all the shots. He can be the offensive juggernaut. Meanwhile, defensively, you can give it to like guys like Taurean Prince, Tyler Johnson, Landry Shamet, Caris LeVert, who's going to be offensively. LeVert is really good. And so that's where I'm kind of leaning towards as I, look to see the situation at hand. I would say for the Celtics and kind of what's going on. And we still have yes, we do. We definitely need to use that trade exception. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. That's a superstar type of contract there. So, maybe you trade away some of your bench players and bring in a superstar. Maybe you trade away some of your bench players and get better bench players. Whatever it is that we got to do. I just want a consistent bench so that when Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum are off the court, like there's no let up. And that's where I felt like it kind of killed us in the third quarter and also the fourth quarter with the way that we played tonight. It's just, I just think that we need to step up in that aspect. So I would love to get Sabonis. I would love to get Vucevic. Whoever is available, that's the guy I want because I think those two guys would definitely help out. I think that we need to start looking at those trades. We need to start looking at getting some better players. We need to start looking at getting, if we need a point guard, let's get a point guard, like a strong big point guard that can help us win games. Like that's where I want to focus our attention on, and not so much like these positions that we already have and getting these other guys. Do you think we could be in the trade for Wall, Gordon, or Boogie with all of them sitting out? No, I think that's too many players, and I think that the Rockets, when they eventually trade James Harden, which they will, whatchamacallit, we had Terry Rozier, we did, and I think that obviously he went off for 42 points in the last game that we had, but I think at the end of the day, I think Terry Rozier, like I was fine with him leaving because I think that I think he did drop 42 the other day, but last season he was not the same Terry Rozier that we had in Boston, right? I think this year it'll be a little bit different because he's the starting point guard now, and he's got a full year under the same system that he's in, so I think he'll be a good player this time. But eventually, I think 42 points, is that going to be a consistent thing for Terry Rozier? No, he's probably going to be like a 16 to 18 type of point per game scorer with about like 4 or 5 assists a game. So that's where I'm seeing Terry Rozier in that aspect, Tyrese. So, I wouldn't be too concerned with a guy like him, just because I think that, on a crappy Charlotte Hornets team who's way too guard heavy, who has a player in LaMelo Ball, I do think that with Terry Rozier, I think he's going to get lost in the shuffle. Just like I think he would have gotten lost in the shuffle in Boston. We are also kind of, we have too many guards, too many type of players that are similar to him. And I think he wanted too much money to be not only did he want the money, but it was also the minutes, right? And I don't think we could have promised him the minutes. Like at most he would have gotten a Peyton Pritchard role, which is like 25 to 28 points per game, or 25 to 28 minutes a game. And I think he wants more. He wants to be a full-time starter. He wants to really have a franchise on his back rather than be like the guy that comes off the bench and helps out. Like that to me is where I think Terry Rozier, because Terry Rozier I think would have stayed and signed the contract with us. But I think that the role that he wanted a different role. And we see Marcus Morris hit that 3. Right now it's 43-38. The LA Lakers, this can be a competitive one. I know we should have kept him, Tyrese, but I think, like I said, not only was it the money, but it was also the starting role. I mean, like at this point, Tyrese, okay, let's say we kept him. Like, do you think he would have been a better Kemba Walker for us? Because I mean, you could make an argument that we should have signed Terry Rozier instead of Kemba Walker. I mean, obviously, I was okay with the Kemba Walker signing, but I definitely wasn't like the biggest fan of it. Like, oh my God, it's going to change the franchise. We also had Gordon Hayward at that point. Kyrie Irving was supposed to be our guy that stayed, and he ended up leaving us. So it's going to be a very interesting scenario. I feel like, the thing is, I felt like the same thing with let me turn off these commercials so we don't have to hear them. To me, it's like the same thing with the Kyrie Irving situation. Kyrie Irving was promised a certain role, promised a certain thing, and he saw that he wasn't going to get that in Boston. The rookies were doing so much more better than him. And that's what I'm seeing from what we're dealing with. Like the Boston Celtics were in the market for a scoring guard. And I felt like Terry Rozier at that point was not doing enough. I felt like, but we'll see what happens, man. Like I do think that we do need to trade. We need to get rid of Kemba Walker. We need to get rid of, if we have to get rid of Marcus Smart, we have to. I don't want to, but I know that we have to in order to, get any sort of trade value for Kemba Walker. I mean, it just sucks to see that Kemba Walker's value really drop dramatically. We gave him the money. We thought he was going to be a game a guard changing type of player for our team, and it just didn't end up that way. And that's kind of the frustrating thing I would say for me is that, like, you know, we paid Kemba Walker this money to be an offensive juggernaut and defensively not to be so much of a liability, but in the end of the day, he was that, and you know, we kind of have to deal with the consequences now. I mean, I don't think that there's any Boston Celtics rumors about trades. Well, let me see. I would trade Kemba and Smart for the French baguette, Bismack Biyombo. Let me see this Twitter. You know what's kind of scary, Tyrese? This guy named Jared Weiss, I believe, is a Boston Celtics staff writer for The Athletic. What's concerning is that Jayson Tatum has yet to take a free throw in these two games. I didn't even notice that until I looked at the box score once again. Jayson Tatum. People on Twitter keep saying that we should trade for James Harden. I don't want James Harden. He's too toxic for me. But just to kind of go back to what I was saying, man, zero goose egg free throw attempts for Jaylen or for Jayson Tatum. That has absolutely got to change. You know, that is absolutely ridiculous. I didn't even notice that in the first game. You know, we were blinded by the 3-point shot. And it's just like, man, like that to me is, I am so frustrated with this, man. Like the Celtics should be competing for championship. I called this the oven bake. I'm going to go, let's hear this. What day is it? On Sunday. I'm doing a charge special. I'm doing a charge special on calling the Celtics out for fraudulence. They're on fraud watch right now for me. Just because of the fact that right now our bench is terrible, our game is terrible. Like I need to watch a little bit more of the I need to watch the actual full games. Luckily, I have League Pass, so I can watch the games and kind of see the sets that they run. And yeah, he does play too much hero ball. I think he takes too many jump shots, too many fadeaways, like he's Kobe. And you know what? Hats to him if he thinks that he's Kobe. Like I appreciate that about him, trying to live up to his idol. But in order for the Celtics to be successful, he just can't be playing that way. I'm sorry. Like he needs to be playing a lot better. And it is frustrating to see. Aaron Naismith airballs an NBA 3 by at least a PS5 box and a half. That is ridiculous, man. Wow, and the average height, and I do agree with you, Tyrese. Our height is like absolutely atrocious. Maybe that's why we lied about Jayson Tatum's height, because I think that the focus for the Celtics is that we don't have anybody that's tall, right? We have most of our guys are like short, can't really do much, and I think offensive rebound wise, I think we did terrible. Let me look at the team stats for offensive rebounds. Well, that's not true. We got cooked on the defensive rebounds though. 34 to 27. So that's definitely got to change. We got most of our rebounds from the offensive side of things. So, if you think about that, like, look at that. We were out rebounded. Like, if you take away our offensive rebounds, we were out rebounded 34 to 27. Like that just can't happen, but you can't blame him with no bench. Like I don't blame him with no bench. Like you have to just take your shots. You have to kind of force things to go through. And I think Danny Ainge needs to do some magic or some finessing. He needs to get back to his old ways of finessing teams, because right now we just look absolutely god awful. And so that to me is going to be a frustrating thing to watch and see. I mean, I would love to kind of get your guys' opinion, but Tyrese, I will be having a special on the Celtics on Sunday because we do need to discuss the fraudulence of the Celtics at this point, because right now it is just not okay. We are way too good, in my opinion, or we have our superstar or our star players, Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum are way too good for this type of fraudulence to be going on for the Celtics. We can't rely on Pritchard to drop 10 every night. I do like Pritchard. I'm probably a little bit higher on him than you are, Tyrese. The reason why I'm higher on him is because I've watched him at Oregon. I went to team camp. I saw him in person. I think he's the real deal. but he's a backup point guard. He's not anywhere near starting caliber. So we definitely need to see him step up his game, definitely step up a lot more. And not the turnovers to me are what kills me for me. And let me look at the turnover battle for us. I believe, let me look at the turnover battle, total turnovers. We were less, 15 compared to their 16. Fouls, we were 27. They were 22. Let me see their free throw percentage. They were 83. We were 68. I mean, again, we're going to lose those games every night. If we don't shoot better, if we don't make our free throws, and we foul too much, like we put them back on the line, it's just not going to be okay. As we kind of look at the box score really quick, as I make sure that this video doesn't play in the background. I think like free throw attempts, KD was 8 for 9, Kyrie Irving 4 for 4. Meanwhile, on our team, we had Jaylen Brown, who was 5 for 9. So Jaylen Brown is being aggressive, which I like. Jayson Tatum, like I said, goose eggs on the free throw. 4 of 6 for Semi Ojeleye. Like this to me is just turning into a complete disaster. And I do agree with you, Tyrese. Danny needs to go. He's absolutely butchered what this oven bake process was supposed to be. When you got Gordon Hayward, when you got Kyrie Irving, like look, if Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward don't want to stay, what I expect from you now is to create a team where we can get it going, man. He needs to get away with too much credit for what he did in the 08. Wasted like he's washed talent finding. Yeah, he is washed in finding talent. Like it's time to bring in someone new, someone fresh, someone with brighter ideas, because right now I feel like we're too comfortable in that, like, we want to be top 4 in the West or the East. And to me that is frustrating. Like I think that we should do a much better job. Like at the end of the day, I want to achieve a little bit more than what we're doing here. And I'm sorry, guys, the watch along has now turned into a Celtics rant. And we will be having a Celtics rant. So I think I'm going to probably cut the stream short in about 9 minutes. So I apologize to everybody that was here. Right now it's 54-43. Lakers right now with 5:10 left in the second quarter. And the reason why, like, I just going on this tangent is because I think that we need to start this. I'm not saying that we're in panic mode just yet, but we definitely need to start looking at getting some better players. We need to start getting some better players. And like I said, I'm very sorry that this is turning into a Celtics rant, but obviously there's also nothing you can do about Kevin Durant going off for 29 points. When he's Durantula. There's also, Kyrie Irving, when he's got to go, and he's got to go, and you can't stop it. But in order for us to get better and for us to be in the same conversation as the Nets, we definitely need to compete in that aspect. And so, in that case, what can we do? And I think the first thing we need to do is start trading away some of these horrible bench players and start getting some better assets as a center, as a scorer off the bench. Like we need to start doing a better job, and I just don't know if we have the capabilities at this point or the assets to do it. Naismith was that pick was supposed to be traded, and we somehow used it to pick Naismith, who airballed a 3 and shot another one and made it barely. And I just think that right now we need to do a better job. And I think it's as simple as that. We need to fire Danny Ainge. We need to hire in someone that has new ideas, new ways to play the game, and get Brad Stevens some help, because right now we are just not helping him out with our talent on the bench. When Jayson Tatum and Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown are off the court, what are you really left with at this point?
On the ball or off the ball at time, doesn't fall in love. The jump shot, puts his head down, gets into the paint, takes the contact.
We got Josh Richardson right now with 6 points. I believe he's 2 of 7 from the field. Let me check on this fantasy basketball team.
Him and Doncic, they've had a relationship years ago when Doncic was just 16.
Let's see here.
One summer they worked out in the same place and got to know each other a little bit. Richardson said he knew back then. He says, I'm watching this kid, and he's like, holy mackerel, this kid's got something special.
Let's see here. Okay. My stream decides not to work. That's great.
Davis lost it. Doncic throws it back to Kleba, and
Kleba smacked right across the face.
Ball, but Kevin Cutler disagrees, so Kleba's going to shoot 2.
So yeah, as Kleba shoots too, I mean, the other type of games, like another thing too that we have to discuss is that the Golden State Warriors are not making the playoffs this year. Their bench is way too bad. When I look at their bench and when I see the roster, Curry had 19 points. He was 6 for 17, 5 for 5 from the free throw line. Chris Middleton had 31. The bench for the Golden State Warriors is I don't even think the Celtics bench is that bad, and I think they're terrible. The Warriors bench is absolutely god-awful. It's atrocious, and it is kind of sad to see because I thought that that the Warriors were going to be a lot better. But when you have Kevon Looney only getting you 2 points, when you got Wanamaker getting you 11, which I wish Wanamaker was still on our team. You got Poole getting us 11, Lee getting you 9. Like, that bench is absolutely god-awful compared to the bench for the Bucks, where you got 13 from DJ Augustine, you got 10 from Bobby Portis. And I just think that the Golden State Warriors are not going to make the playoffs now because their bench is just so bad. Curry, I feel like, is one of those players that needs another superstar with him in order to compete. And that's kind of the situation at hand as it pertains to the Golden State Warriors. Like, I'm really worried about them because I don't think that they're good enough to win a playoff spot or even do a play-in game. Like, they're going to be looking to get another first-round pick for this 2021 class and seeing if they can get somebody that helps them out. Because right now, it's just not looking too hot for them. Somehow, Luka Doncic got more. Was able to scoot himself forward like it's 2K.
He has such a slight frame, but he really holds his ground well as people try to bully him in the post.
Let's see here. Well, Pope needs to step up. But yeah, just going back to the Warriors-Bucks, Giannis had 15 points, so he was very quiet tonight. Obviously, from the last game where he had 34. This time it was Middleton with 31. Drew Holiday with 12, but had 6 assists and 4 rebounds. DiVincenzo had 13 points. And they got a lot of players to help off the bench, man. So I think that, in my opinion, when I look at everything at hand, the Warriors are in deep trouble. They are in deep trouble, and they need to figure out what they're going to be doing because right now it is absolutely. I can't even describe how terrible the bench is for the Warriors right now. So at the end of the day, we'll see what's happening. We'll see what's happening for the team, man. Because I think that the Warriors are in big trouble. Another game that was on tonight, or another game that was on earlier this morning at 9:00. If you guys opened presents at 9:00, or if you guys were up at 9:00, we had the Pelicans and the Heat ended up winning that game 111-98. Again, Zion Williamson went off for 32 points, 11 for 20, 10 for 15 from the free throw line. I think for me, what I noticed about here is that Lonzo Ball was 2 for 8, so definitely did not step up in that aspect. So, we need to see Lonzo Ball step up a little bit more. Had 6 assists, but also had 3 turnovers. That's definitely not going to cut it. Eric Bledsoe had 5 turnovers, not going to cut it. Zion Williamson had 1, so that's fine. But I think defensively, Lonzo needs to also do a better job of especially on those screens because he was guarding Duncan Robinson the whole time, and Duncan Robinson absolutely cooked tonight. 7 for 13 from 3-point. I believe he either tied or beat an NBA record for most threes on a Christmas Day game. And the thing with that is that if you don't tuck and trail with him, you're going to just give up those open threes each and every day. Duncan Robinson's been living for those type of moments, living for those type of shots. That's his gimmick. He's basically a JJ Redick. Or even a Ray Allen of some sort, with the way that they run and get open. Excuse me as I got again. Siri, I don't need you right now. And that's kind of the thing for me is I do believe that that the Hornets. Man, I'm so off today. It's Christmas, I guess. I think that they need to get a little bit more help off the bench. It looks like Van Gundy only goes 4 guys deep on the bench. I thought Hart did a really good job, got you 9 rebounds, got you 12 points on 2 of 6 shooting. Needs to probably shoot a little bit better. Ingram went off again tonight, 28 points. Zion Williamson, 32 points. So they're going to have to make sure that Lonzo, becomes a better third superstar, third guy on the team because they're going to definitely need Lonzo in order for this team to be competitive. If Lonzo can make at least half of those shots, if he can be at least, 6 for 8 or 5 for 8 on 3-point shots, that to me is going to be a lot better than what I'm seeing here where, he's, 2 for 8, and he's got a -3 player rating. So we definitely need to see an improvement from him. We definitely need to see an improvement from this team. But, that's kind of my opinion on the Pelicans. Meanwhile, on the, my goodness, I really hate when those things autoplay. For the Heat, I thought this was a great game for Duncan Robinson. Jimmy Butler only played like 16 minutes. I think he had like I believe either a back or like an ankle injury, or shoulder situation. So he was unavailable for the game. Precious got you 19 minutes and got you 11 points. That was really good. Dragic got you 18. He was coming off the bench. Avery Bradley got you 12. And Iguodala got you 6. So, I mean, like, their bench is pretty deep. I think that they're going to have a little bit of a downturn just because I think that, the expectations of an NBA final again is probably going to be too much for these guys, even though I think that they could do it. But it is kind of interesting that Myers Leonard started. Tyler Hero is now the point guard for you. And Bam Adebayo got you 17 with 5 of 9 shooting. So I think he needs to also take a lot more shots than I think he's taking. Because I think Bam Adebayo is going to be a difference maker for somebody, or going to be a different maker for the Heat because he signed his extension. He's going to be there for a while. So, I do think that they need to do a better job in that aspect. But, at the end of the day, it is what it is. We'll see what happens with the Heat. Are you guys interested in the Heat? Do you think that they can repeat as champions? Let me know in the comment section down below, or if you're live in the chat, let me know in the live chat down below too. As we kind of see here, that it is now a 5-point game, which will now turn to a 6-point game, 56-50, with 3:10 left in the second quarter.
That's something he's going to remember for a lifetime. All the players, some of them with their kids.
See if Luka Doncic getting that little post-up touch with LeBron not guarding him. Should have really made that pass. Eek. Watch a little bit of this. We'll kind of end this half. Dennis Schroeder. As we kind of see here, Powell.
I think the only problem would be is if Frank Vogel decided something else and he was a problem because of it. But stating what you think
we saw a huge 3 there that the Dallas Mavericks definitely needed in that aspect. 58-53 right now. Probably going to watch till half, and then we're just going to kind of cut the stream. Not enough people on to kind of keep the stream going, so I apologize for anybody that's in here. But I also want to respect your guys' time, and if you guys are going to be chilling with your families, I don't want to be on here for very long. Probably an hour, at most, which I think I am at an hour without the music. So appreciate you guys kind of chilling with me for that music. See LeBron James dunk it. That should be an and one. We got a timeout there. So I think we're going to cut the stream here, guys. Thank you once again for joining me here on The Charge, giving the latest NBA news and rumors and also basketball opinions. Appreciate everybody here on The Charge family, the guys that have subscribed, the people that have subscribed. It is definitely a very great honor that you guys did that for me. I really appreciate everybody that's subscribed to the channel right now. We'll see what happens. Sunday, we will have a Charge special on the Boston Celtics, the state of the Boston Celtics. That's what I'm going to title it. So if you guys are going to be interested in that, go and check that out, as we will be going over the Boston Celtics, kind of their strengths, kind of their weaknesses, and we'll see at that aspect what's going to happen. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it here for The Charge. Again, guys, remember, giving you the Monday through Friday latest news and rumors and also basketball opinions with me, Pete, Brad, Sean, whoever's coming on. You're going to expect some great basketball content here on The Charge. But anyway, guys, like I said, my name is Bernie. Thank you once again for joining. We'll have a Sunday special again. I will put up a video saying when that is going to go live. So if you guys are interested in my live special, go and check that out. That video will be up tomorrow. I'll make an announcement video for when time I will have that video or that live stream up. But anyway, guys, like I said, my name is Bernie. Thank you once again for joining, and we'll catch you on the next live stream.